Hello to everybody who's joined us today. Welcome to our next seminar during Meet Asilia. Today we're going to unpack our Asilia Adventures. I'm Melissa, one of the agent relationship managers at Asilia based in Cape Town. Just remember that we are recording this, so if you get pulled away or interrupted by a child needing some homeschooling questions answered or lose your connection, or if you're in Cape Town and Eskom suddenly decides to load shed us, don't panic. You can also live pause if you need to and start playing again when you're ready. Also remember the chat box is on the right of your screen, right, depending which way you're looking at me. Feel free to type questions in there and our moderator will publish as many as possible so that we can answer them at the end. Now, into the what and why of Asilia Adventures. We created these mini safaris that go beyond the typical classic safari. They're unique, experience-rich, immersive, and utterly unforgettable. Planning adventures like these, as you all well know, can be extremely time-consuming. So as agents, you can pick these right up off the shelf, just drop them into your itinerary. We've taken all that hard work out of it, and we've done all the planning and costing for you. This is a great way to drive business outside of high season when availability, as we all know, is so often very limited. So we operate these between November and May when guides are more available, vehicles aren't at such a premium, and those wildlife spectacles are still hugely in abundance. From our side, and perhaps yours as well, we're finding that more and more younger travelers are feeling that viewing wildlife from the back of a vehicle, as incredible as we know that is just not enough when on a safari. So they're desiring something a little bit different. Also, not many are offering experiences like these, and that makes them a great differentiator for you when quoting on those requests. Also, from those the lockdown perspective, you can use Asilia Adventures to meet the post-lockdown needs, where people are desperate to escape into wild places, get very far away from all the crowds, and have a more meaningful travel experience. All these adventures are private. There's no sharing, no set dates. So basically, there's never been a better time to add these to an itinerary. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. This image, by the way, is not staged. It was literally the sunrise as one of our team headed out on an Asilia adventure. As I mentioned, these are offered from November to May, and then exclude the festive season peak. We don't offer them year-round as guides are under a lot of pressure during high season. So this is a great way for all of us to encourage guests to travel during the low season. All adventures are between 3 and 9 days, and they appeal to different requirements. So you can select the most suitable option and bolt it onto a regular safari, either at the beginning or the end, wherever it fits best. No set dates. It's just a matter of checking availability. We've also put together a number of sales tools to make this as simple as possible for you to include in a safari. You can find all of these on the Asilia agent space, which I'm sure all of you are using on a daily basis right now, because it is amazing. So click through to the info zone and then you'll find a tab there for Asilia Adventures. We have PDFs that can be sent directly to your clients. They show the age and fitness requirements for easy reference. They also give a full overview of duration, location, and inclusions. We also have a simple pricing grid, which is based on the number of guests that are booking that particular Asilia adventure. The other thing that you'll find there is this incredible interactive booklet. It's got all the adventures grouped by category. So this and the map that you'll find there will help you to find the most suitable option for any particular request. Our safari fundies, we touched on this yesterday during Fiona's presentation on our guiding principles. Our safari fundies are our expert specialist guides. We've got 4 of these in Kenya, 5 in Tanzania. So you'll find details and biographies in the exact same place on the info zone under that Asilia Adventures tab. A safari fundi accompanies certain adventures, but you can also book these amazing experts for a regular safari to just add something truly special. And now we're going to talk through a few of our adventures in a bit more detail, and we've got some special guests for you along the way. First up, traverse the Mara Conservancies on foot. This is our flagship adventure. Imagine being able to say that you walked from one side of the Masai Mara Conservancies to the other. Rather than a 2-hour walking safari, this is something only a handful of people have done. It gives you an unrivaled opportunity to immerse yourself into the environment. It also gives you massive bragging rights at the end of it. Most of our adventures have a 2 packs minimum, but this one, just a point to note, has 4 due to the logistics involved. So you start your trip at Naboshu and you end it at either Mara or Acacia House. So you bookend it with 2 fantastic Asilia properties, and in between you traverse the Mara North, the Mek and Old Choro Conservancies. Our logistics team pack up the tents and move those for you, so there's no heavy lifting to worry about. You will be walking between 15 and 20 kilometers a day though. So there is a certain fitness level that you do require for this, but all you'll be carrying is your day pack and your water. Our team will move your main bags from point to point, so there's none of that to worry about. It's an amazing 6 days with our head guide, Roelof Schutte, showing you the wonders of the Mara. Along the way, you'll also have the opportunity to learn about the community and spend time at key wildlife conservation and community projects. This slide shows you the hill where you end your walk across the conservancies. It's that triumphant moment when you can look down at everything that you have just accomplished. And now I've got a video for you because 3 nights will be spent in fly camps. And on this video, our head guide, Roelof, introduces you to one of those. Okay, I believe that we have got no sound at the moment, so I'm just going to undo this for a moment and reshare. Let's see if this will work. Okay, great.
Hi, Steve. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
This is Bukai, Steve, and Bernard. They will be in camp with you tonight.
I'm Steve. Hi,
yeah.
Nadine.
Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Yes, Steve, nice to meet you.
My name is Bernard.
Hi, Nadine. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hello. John, nice to meet you. Okay. So you've got your towels, drinking water, headlamps. So everything is here. Early in the morning when they wake you up, there will be hot water, soap. Everything is here that you need to just have a comfortable night. Yeah?
Okay, great.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys want to have a quick look inside.
Yeah.
And how it looks. We will. The guys will come and do a turn down. They will close all your windows up, and then yeah, you're ready for the night.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good. Looks comfy and nice.
Yeah.
Nice big beds. Yeah.
And then we'll go and have a look at the loo.
Okay.
So very simple short drop loo over here. Whenever you want to go, even during the night, you know, just use a flashlight, just shine around, and then yeah, just come and use the facilities.
Okay, great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Shower. We
Hold on, let me get a shot of this.
So onto the shower. We have hot water ready, so everyone's a shower can shower. And you've got a shower with a view.
Okay, great.
So this is a bucket shower. So the guys will fill up with pre-mixed hot water, already the right temperature, and then yeah, you can just enjoy the shower with a view over the woodland here. Really happy to do it. Cheers. 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 Welcome. Thank you so much.
Sorry about the technical difficulties that we experienced there, but there always has to be one. Let's hope it's just one. So not all Asilia Adventures are big expeditions. We also have some shorter non-safari options like this one. This gorgeous log cabin halfway up Mount Kenya happens to be the romantic location where Prince William got engaged to Kate. So if you have a royalist client, this might be a little selling feature for them. However, it doesn't only have to be seen as a location for romance. It's also about escaping the world, taking mountain walks, and finding time for fly fishing. And here, let me rather leave it to Alex Hunter to explain a bit more about why this is so very special.
I'm talking quietly because in the background are a whole lot of elephants, so I don't want to disturb them. And this very short chat is going to be about Mount Kenya, why it's the most interesting mountain to climb in Africa, primarily because there's no other people on it. Sorry, you Tanzanians. Rotundu is the most amazing place to go to pre-post any Mount Kenya climb or completely independently. Rotundu to me is like it's like a sort of Tibetan temple on Mount Kenya. It's remote, it's peaceful, it has all of this stuff. Anywhere else, and it's immensely comfortable. It's not for big groups, though. It really can only take 4 to 6 people. And then there's Rogati, which is on the other side of Mount Kenya, offers great walking, great trout fishing, rustic cabins. So anything really, be it a Mount Kenya climb, be it Lake Rotundu, hiking, just doing something completely different.
And that's what the Asilia Adventures are all about, doing something completely different. Now we move over to Zanzibar. Here we've put together 2 adventures of 4 days and 3 nights. You can choose between water sports tasters for an active beach stay or health and wellness, which can be tailored towards whether you'd rather just be a little bit laid back or whether you'd like something of a bit higher in fitness levels. And I'm going to hand over to our Matemwe manager, Ross, to explain more about these adventures. This was filmed before the pandemic, just to note.
When guests arrive in Zanzibar, we are the only hotel on the whole east coast or the whole of Zanzibar that I know it that'll actually take guests and do an adventurous trip with them. There's a few other companies that do a few different things, which we've partnered up with. So when you actually arrive at the hotel itself, we grab one of these canoes and one of our guides and myself, and we take our guests out for a nice, beautiful long paddle. We head out to Glen Island, which is in the background. It's about a 5-kilometer paddle from our shores. We take you guys out. Hopefully we encounter some dolphins in the wild, paddle up to them and jump in the water with them. And then from there, some of the most picturesque coral in the whole of the East Africa is situated right opposite us, so we get to paddle out to that, do a lot of that. Then we paddle out to a beach where our team meets you. All of your guides are local people that are living in the village next door to us. They're ex-fishermen that have been trained to guide guests. So you literally have the best guides in Zanzibar. People that have grown up in Zanzibar, people that used to be spearfishermen, which is an unsustainable form of fishing. So now we've trained them, rather than going spearing the fish, take clients out and show them the fish. It's called a Fisherman First program, and those are the guides that will be out with you. Those are the guides that will be with you every day in your adventures from a day-to-day basis. The reason why guests should book it is it creates memories for the rest of your life. You're not going to find another hotel or another company like Asilia that will set up a guest activity and adventurous day like we do. So this is something that would certainly appeal to our more adventurous clients, but just about any clients. Today I've got a group of guests from New Zealand. They're doing the spine of Africa. They've got to Zanzibar. They're currently snorkeling. I'm going to meet them on canoes, going to bring them back in and do a lunch for them on the beach. Those guests are between the ages of 65 and 75, and they're out there and they're doing that. So once your adventure is completed, I thought we'd show you the end results. The guests will come up the beach on their canoe, they'll leave the boats here, and then this is what they encounter. So this is a table setting for our 8 guests and their guide. Guests are currently having a swim. So we have some games for them, canoes parked. And then we have our kitchen team ready. This is our executive chef Madaraka, and the rest of his team waits Muddy, our guide. We provide some fins, some fly fishing gear. This is what it's all about. And it's a live barbecue today for our guests on the beach. And this is their view. What's my favorite part of the adventure is one of the questions that we've asked, and I don't want this to sound too soppy or ingenious or not genuine, but honestly the guest's reaction to the day is one of my favorite parts of the trip, is sitting down with the guest after a long hard paddle, sitting down with the guest after they've completed a 25-kilometer run on the beach, and just that satisfaction in the guest once they've completed an adventure, sitting down chatting about it, the response we get later, weeks down the line, saying, "Oh Ross, I was just looking at my photos and that was just the best trip we've had." I had a gentleman, Matt, who's returning for his 3rd trip with us in December, and has asked me particularly to be there with him. We were paddling out to Nemba doing a 5-kilometer paddle, and dolphins were hunting in the area, which attracted a large pool of tuna, and the bait ball of fish was getting pushed closer to the water, so we had seagulls bombing. The bait ball then took refuge underneath one of the canoes. Matt's canoe in particular had a bait ball of fish underneath it, and he had tuna flying over his boat, and he had seagulls bombing on either side of him, and then he had dolphins flying in from the side. I'll never forget that day, and I'm sure he won't. So I hope that helps, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.
As if we weren't all longing to be at the beach already, the ocean suddenly sounded very dramatic and loud in that particular clip, but I hope you enjoyed that. So then on to our cultural adventures. These are less active, but offer insight into the local community. They slot easily into a Northern Circuit itinerary and are a great way for you to start a trip. So your guests get to explore areas where tourists never go and have a truly authentic encounter. You can meet the Hadzabe, traditional hunter-gatherers southwest of the Ngorongoro crater, or you can spend time with the Maasai community east of Tarangire. We have one adventure on horseback and one on foot. Just a point to note as well, we haven't been offering these this season as we can't put the community at risk, but they will be back, so please get booking from November this year onwards. And then we move on to our walking adventures in northern Tanzania. So we don't only have walking options for you in the Mara, we also have them in northern Tanzania. You can take a short adventure where there are no roads just north of the Ngorongoro crater. Take a longer walk from the Ngorongoro highlands to Namiri Plains in the eastern Serengeti. Get close to the migration action in the heart of the Serengeti. Or, and here we have another video for you, opt for Ngorongoro to Lake Natron Trek. This is our most popular adventure. I'm going to let Ake, who created this trek from Ngorongoro to Lake Natron, sum up why Asilia Adventures are such a unique and incredible option in an itinerary.
Asilia Adventures definitely make it possible for travelers to East Africa to really do something a bit different and slot it into a regular safari. So really just special to be able to just design and create itineraries that really, they make a big difference to people's experiences. You know, people are investing their time and their money and their lives in going out for a week, 2 weeks, and so it really has to be special. And that's where these adventures, the Asilia Adventures, you're able to slot these into itineraries and programs, and you know they're going to be an amazing experience. So that's pretty special. Asilia definitely do a lot of work trying to partner with strong partners, and in terms of experiential travel, you know, they've really done their homework. They do these trips, they know what they're talking about, and so the reason that this group of adventures exists is because they are great, and that's why they should be pitched there. But also to give that extra dimension to a safari or a trip, you know, it's an adventure of a lifetime, isn't it? So, you know, everybody wants to give their guests the very best of the experience, and not necessarily the fanciest hotel or you know, the nicest bathrobe, but something that really makes them go away and think or feel something really special. And Asilia Adventure is ideal just for that. Our trek is the Great Rift Valley Trek, and it starts up in the Ngorongoro Highlands and comes all the way down to the edge of Lake Natron. And so it really is a whole range, a smorgasbord of experiences, going from the highlands, cold, verdant green, all the way down to one of the driest areas in northern Tanzania, Natron. And Natron is absolutely dominated by Lengai, and that's an active carbonatite volcano, the only active carbonatite volcano in the world. And so an adventure where you're getting a whole raft of experiences: hot, cold, green, dry, different animals, different people. It really is a big old mix of things in just 4 days. This trek in particular is taking people off the beaten track. You're really moving away from the mainstream, and in doing so you're rewarded with some of the most beautiful landscapes in East Africa. Really stunning Rift Valley geology. An active volcano always helps fill in the picture, but in the alkaline lake here as well, with the flamingos, lesser flamingos breeding here. This particular adventure is truly an adventure. It's an active trek all the way down the Rift Valley, and so just right there it's trekking down the Great Rift Valley, a feature that's visible from space. Well, sure enough, that's going to appeal to active people, families, people who really are into the geology or this unique habitat where there are a bunch of extremophiles and everything else. It's a beautiful place to come, and so definitely active types, this is the one. This is a great place. Be prepared, come fit, come ready, enjoy it. Empire to Natron, the Great Rift Valley Trek. Flamingos. Ooh, lovely. Ooh, cow.
As I said, no one can sum it up better than Ake himself. And as he mentioned, this image is taken from that adventure showing the volcano Aldonia Lengai. It's still active, so you can trek up it if you add an extra night onto the adventure, climb up at midnight so you get to the top at sunrise, and then virtually slide right down the slope. So that's the end of our Asilia Adventures presentation, and it's time to have a look at any questions that you may have posed. If I can find them, hold on. Here we go. Okay, let's start at the top here. Fly camping, can it only be booked as a part of an adventure, or is it available within a usual safari offering? If so, which camps offer it? Okay, so fly camping is not only for Asilia Adventures. We haven't been offering it at the moment, but it's coming back as well. that we offer at Naboshu in the Mara Naboshu Conservancy in Kenya. That's the only camp that we currently offer it at, but you can add it on to any stay there. It's an amazing option to include. And then let's see, Jim has asked, which one of these awesome adventures would you most like to do? I'm assuming you mean me. I would actually really like to do that Lake Natron, the Ngorongoro to Lake Natron, this last one that we looked at. I think that would be absolutely incredible. You just look at the scenery around you. Yeah, okay, it's got a lot of walking in it, but I'm keen, I'm up for it. I would totally go for that one. Okay, let's see. Wondering if the walking safari would be part of Asilia's agent FAMs in June and November. Bernard, unfortunately, no. That is not something that we include in our agent FAMs. It is something that you could look at as a FAM. Outside of that, we'd obviously have to chat to you about it, but that would only be an option in November anyway, but it would need to be added onto a group FAM. It wouldn't be a normal part of our offering, but it's definitely something that you as an agent should try. And then Taryn is asking us, are you able to take an Asilia adventure and use the itinerary for peak season booking and pay the premium rates? Not really, no. An Asilia adventure is something that is outside of the ordinary. It's got other logistics involved in it. Often a safari fundi is part of it. It's using other suppliers of ours as well. So it's not something that you can really add on as peak season. It truly is November to May. And then we've got a different Taryn saying, not a question, but rather just a compliment. Asilia have really given these adventures a lot of thought and have catered to so many diverse interests and fitness levels, and the offerings look amazing. Thank you. Yes, you are absolutely right. You've made it look easy and seamless, but have thought it through in great detail with a personal touch. Well done. Thank you, Taryn. We really, really appreciate that compliment. And then Anonymous is asking, roughly how much would it cost to add these experiences to an itinerary? Hadzabe Cultural Immersion, Northern Tanzania Walking Adventure, Great Valley Walk. Okay, so we've got multiple different prices. Your pricing starts at approximately, the lowest price you would get is approximately $1,000 per person for it, but that is based on the number of people. So the more people involved in your adventure, the lower the rate tends to become. So some of them can get down to as low as just over $1,000, but they go up to, our most expensive would be Ngorongoro to the Serengeti, because that's our longest one. That's our 9-day option, and that's at $9,400 per person if there are only 2 of you. So it really depends, but I encourage you to hit the info zone and grab that rate sheet, because it's got so much information there, and then you can really get a good idea of the costings of each one of them. And then we are being told here by somebody who's obviously just risen from Good Morning, Rise and Shine, the very best experience climbing Old Donyo. I did it in 2003. Glad to hear you offering it. That is amazing that you've done it. That's absolutely awesome. That is all the questions that we have. So thank you all for taking the time to learn a bit more about Asilia Adventures. Any questions you've asked that haven't been published there, we'll hand over to your agent relationship manager to get in touch with you if necessary. Remember to join us for the next seminar later today. John is going to be presenting to us on travel in the time of COVID-19. That takes place at 5 p.m. if you're in London, 7 p.m. for us here in Cape Town, midday for those on the US East Coast, and 9 a.m. for the West Coast. If any of you are actually with us right now, I'm super impressed. We also have a fun quiz for you at the end of our virtual trade show, and you can win bed nights from that. So enjoy the rest of Meet Asilia.